Welcome back, everyone. I am excited about bringing on my next guest. They've been on with me a few times now, and no matter what I do, somehow I can't get them to relax, one of them to relax. But you know what? Today's going to be different. I absolutely know it, because we're going to talk a little bit about me and my experience about something. And I want people to listen up, because what we're going to talk about right now is super important, because a lot of people go through some really crazy things that happened to them. I did. And I only wish I knew that I could have called someone like you, because it would have made my life a lot better, believe me. So I have with me Rob Kimpel, and he's the owner of Kimpel Consulting Group. He also has with him Phil Enright, and he is the director of marketing. Welcome to the show. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about yourselves, what you do, so that I can kind of talk about why I wish I could have called someone like you.
Great. Carol, thanks for having us back. This is the third time, and we're going to have a lot of fun today, I think. I wanted to first off congratulate the station here on new ownership and rebranding.
Thank you.
It's exciting and going to be great. So I am Rob Kimpel, president of Kimpel Consulting Group. This is Phil Enright, our director of marketing. We've been in business since 2011. And so we are licensed insurance adjusters, but we represent and negotiate on behalf of the homeowner or business owner and not the insurance company. So we'll assist in filing, documenting, negotiating, and just ensuring that at the end of the day we take care of everything related to the claim, and our clients can focus on their families, their businesses, and the things that matter most.
So let me talk about this too. Both residential and commercial.
Yes.
Okay. I myself, what I dealt with was an earthquake. 1994 Northridge earthquake was a very different earthquake than they have normally. I mean, and it just so happened that it was right on the surface of the earth, and it was a ton of damage compared to normal earthquake damage. Everybody in my family lost their homes. Everybody. And everybody, almost everybody I know, lost their home or had significant damage. And I never even knew, you know, what a public adjuster was. And most people don't. I think people don't even realize that they don't have to necessarily go through their insurance company. It's a good idea, I guess, to tell them, but the problem is that once you start talking to them, what happens?
I guess a good term is anything you say can be used against you. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times people will make an assumption. They'll just make a statement that is somewhat of an assumption instead of an actual fact that could actually lessen the amount of coverage they're entitled to, or even have a claim denied because of what they've said.
So go ahead.
And your policy is something to remember too. You know, your policy, every policy, everywhere, anywhere, was written by attorneys for attorneys. So it's not necessarily something that a homeowner or a business owner or anyone who doesn't specialize in insurance is going to be able to just pick up and say, oh, this is how it works. So your hands are really at the hands of the insurance company.
Now, when you work with people, okay, I want to talk about how that works. Do you work on a contingency? How does it work when they work with you?
Yes. Basically, we don't get paid a dime unless they get paid.
Right. So that means
it is a contingency basis.
That's huge, okay, because you have to hear that they're here to help you get the most that you can get. They're going to look out for you differently than an insurance company because an insurance company, they don't want to have to pay it out. Let's say it like it is.
Well, we're all in business to make money. Mm-hmm. Insurance companies are the same. Many of them are financial institutions that they like to collect premiums, but they want to minimize what they pay out. They're not bad people, but they're in business to make money for their shareholders.
Right. And when I had the earthquake, I'm going to say this right now, I mean, and especially now, I mean, I'm not sure if COVID comes involved with you too. Let's say someone's business was disrupted. Can you help them with that too? Or is it mostly just for like me, where you have damage, whether it's a flood, fire, earthquake, what else?
Yes, it's mostly direct physical damage.
Mm-hmm.
I think the COVID issue is a gray area that nobody really knows
mm-hmm.
at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, though, we are there to we're a full claims management service. So if you have a house fire, you're not sure what to do next. Do I need clothes for my kids? Do I need a hotel? Where am I going? We have the answers to those questions because we see it every day. So if you put that into our hands, we can help you, and you can keep your family safe and avoid the contact that you want to try to avoid right now.
And so a lot of people right now, I know we didn't have a lot of monsoons, and we didn't have a ton of rain, but things happen. Fires happen, floods happen. You could have something happen in your home or your office, and you don't necessarily have to go through your own insurance company, because even though, like you said, it's something that you could say that could really hurt you completely. Though, do you do second opinions? Do you do second opinions? Let's say somebody has started something right now, they're listening going, well, I have some. Do you look at a second set of eyes at things?
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of what we do. It doesn't cost you anything to call us and ask us to come out and take a look at something. And like you said, we work on a contingency basis, so we earn our money and we don't get paid until you do. There's nothing down, there's nothing out of pocket. Nothing should ever come out of your pocket when your home burns down or you have a fire. So if anyone tells you that it should, definitely give us a call.
Their phone number, 602-799-5088. They're statewide, so you also work statewide. Their website is Kimpel, Kimpel, group.com. They do free consult. Everything they do for you is on a contingency basis, so they want to talk to you and help you out and see what they can do for you. And they're rated with the Better Business Bureau as well, both residential and commercial. They've been doing this since 2011. What I wanted to talk about with my scenario was this. So, like now too, especially with the fires going on, a lot of people, they're busy all the time. They try and get through these things pretty fast, right? You do agree, the insurance companies?
Yeah, they do. I mean, when I worked for the major insurance companies, I had 30 to 50 claims on my desk all the time. So if I didn't have the time, it wasn't that I wasn't a nice person. it's job, it's business. How fast can I go through this?
Right. And what happened to me was that we had an adjuster come in from a big, one of those big top box, whatever you want to call them. Well, and the guy came in and we walked around, and for us who were young and we didn't know that we could call someone like you, oh, there's a little plant or a little whatever growing through that crack, or those plantation scissors that you had made especially for you, you can go get those at Home Depot. So we got way less than what we should have, because if we would have called you, we would have had somebody who was looking really out for us. They sounded like they were looking out for us, but they didn't. I mean, we had over $170,000 worth of damage on our home. That's a lot of damage. We took a shovel to our home, our kitchen. We had shards of glass in our carpet that they didn't give us for anything for,
Right.
And that's where and afterwards, why I brought this up, and I don't want to tell my story, but why I bring it up is afterwards, even a year later, I can't remember if a year or so later, they got sued.
Okay.
They did, because they weren't taking care of us. They really weren't. Go ahead.
Yeah, in these large, regional catastrophic events, it's very challenging for someone in your situation. Anyone having a house fire today in Metro Phoenix is dealing with short staff because of all the fires in California, all the flooding and hurricane activity in the southeast. Mm-hmm. They're desperate for bodies, and it's even more important for people to have representation at this time.
Tell them what makes you different. Because let's face it, there's other people, but let's talk about what makes you, as Kimpel Group, what makes you different.
Yeah, Phil alluded to the fact that he worked for a major insurance company, so he brings that vast body of experience. And my background is over 20 years in the trades, residential home building, restoration, and we've had this business for the last 9 years.
So I'm going to make that to me, that sounds great, because number one, you can look at something and see what's wrong, whereas okay, that adjuster that works for the insurance company, not a public adjuster like they are, but an insurance company that doesn't know, he doesn't even know. Right? Go ahead.
Well, and the thing is, again, it's all down to timing because, that adjuster earlier had said I had 40 to 50 claims on my desk. Rob, when I started working with Rob, we limit our claims every year because we can't treat you like $1 million customer and go through your entire claim with a fine-tooth comb if we have 40 or 50 of you on our desk a month. So that is the difference, and and Rob definitely illustrates that with our estimates. They're on average we are quite a bit higher than the insurance company.
I think people need to understand that you really are the best kept secret. People don't understand that they can literally do this. It's not like, I don't even think they have them like, in the yellow pages. They don't.
Right.
It's not like that. So you think that you're going to call the people who have told you that they're going to take care of you, and honestly, you just don't have to. And I'm trying to get that point out for everyone that's listening. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone that you know. We're live on Facebook. You people out there that are watching and listening, tell people about this. It's so important. 602-799-5088. We'll be back in just a minute. We're going to continue talking because we're live on Facebook. And I want to ask you, how do you like it?
This is great.
Different.
The whole flow.
Different. You see,
much, yes.
I knew you would like it better because that part of it, you're still talking the same way, but you're not pushing it all out. Are we missing anything so far?
I don't.
When we go back, you can talk about. I'm just saying, you can talk about the 8-year-old woman, the 2 special needs.
Yeah.
Because
Okay, we'll do that.
Just because that's like that's important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. So the 3 that I had listed there, I mean, 2 of them are extreme examples. They are realistic examples, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the differences that I made,
Money-wise.
38,000 to
Here.
988,000.
Yeah, Okay.
I don't want people to think that we're going to get 50
So, and we're going
times
to
as
talk
much
about
on every.
your
Yes.
website, okay?
Okay.
Because I want to talk to you afterwards about the name of your website.
The name of the website.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm going to change it.
Okay.
Do I have to change anything?
We need to change everything.
Okay, I'm
on
gonna
that
help you.
website. My web guy.
Well, I have a guy, number 1,
Okay.
David, if you've not met him. But,
I think first
yeah.
time.
But more than anything, we're going to change it to redirect it to this one. You don't have to change anything. But we need to change the name. Like to say, not the name of your company, but to be like, you've been hurt, we're here, or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to change it so that it redirects to this one,
Yeah.
but something easy.
Fire recover or something shorter.
Something like that. Something, it doesn't, well, I'll figure it out afterwards, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about
Yeah.
that part of it. This is what's fun about this part of what I do, is helping you with that. It's not easy to remember people,
Right. Yes.
but something, I think catchy that is also, meaningful too, but, doesn't have to be the name of your company.
Okay.
It can be redirected and you won't have to change anything. It
Right.
doesn't, it takes like very little to do,
Yeah.
and you'll be very happy.
We talked about that. So it's basically buying other domains
Yeah.
and then redirecting.
Right,
Cool.
exactly, but we'll come up with one. You see?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Perfect.
and I'll help you. I'll help you with that afterwards, so, because we gotta do it for the next one. Because you're
Okay.
coming back.
We'll come back. Yes.
You have to, because you can see the difference of what this is and what can be compared to just throwing it out.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is where you can really talk about stories and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
In those 30s, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So for you, with everything that you're doing in terms of with what's going on, the fires and all of that, people have fires in their home every day.
Yes.
What are some of what's the biggest, well, we're gonna talk about this when we get back, okay?
And maybe that's a question. What's the biggest difference?
Hmm?
Maybe that's the question. What's the biggest difference that you've made?
So welcome back, everyone. We're talking with, Rob Kimpel, and he's the owner of Kimpel Consulting Group, and he has with him Phil Enright, and he's the director of marketing. Public adjusting, I gotta put that in there, because when you say all that, it doesn't really, they don't get it, right? But it's so important for people to be listening to this information. today so much has been going on between, okay, we've been having COVID, but we didn't have a lot of rain, though people have fires in their house. We do have winds. We're gonna have more. I think it's gonna get worse. I honestly do. We're gonna have a weird timing of when we're gonna have all this floods and all of that. What is the biggest, or something that has happened to one of your clients, or let's say that you'd want to talk about as a story per se?
Okay. I'm going to share a couple with you that are, they're extreme, but they're absolutely reality of claims here in Arizona. I did a commercial claim, wind and hail claim in Tucson at an apartment complex. Before I got involved, a storm came through, did some damage. The management company filed a claim. They brought an adjuster out, and they ended up writing a repair estimate for $38,000. And there's 36 buildings on this property. The property management company got me involved. We immediately engaged, went down, spent several days looking at it. We prepared an estimate that was substantially higher than theirs. And I spent 3 days on those roofs with engineers that they brought in from Texas. And at the end of the day, we ended up getting $988,000 paid out on that claim.
Big difference.
Huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Huge difference for that property owner. Huge difference for those residents. Many people were affected positively by that.
Right.
Yep.
And you even have a story about an older person that is kind of, I like it when they can relate to it, right?
Yeah.
Because we've got a lot of older listeners like me.
Yes. 2 years ago we had a claim. It was a fire claim with a family in Glendale. An elderly woman, single woman with 2 special needs adult children in their 50s. They had a catastrophic fire, and the family was so affected by this. You know, the special requirements that these men needed, having things in their place, their routines, it really flipped them upside down. We engaged with them on much more of a personal level. Our client couldn't drive. She didn't drive. So I did a lot of taxiing around. And ultimately, they put their home back together. And the interesting thing was, a lot of times people will change their paint colors, they'll update flooring, they'll do different things. These people, because of the needs of these 2 children, or adult children, were, everything was exactly the same. The paint color, the carpeting, the tile, everything was exactly the same. There's a lot of intrinsic rewards in what we do, and that's what this story is based on.
Yeah, and I mean, I want people to understand how important it is to this information that we listen to here. This is, again, I say it all the time, I can't help myself. Maybe you know somebody, maybe it's you, that we all know somebody that has something, and I see it on Facebook. You know, people like to talk on Facebook and what's going on with them. I see a lot of things. Oh, this time I just had a leak in from the dishwasher or from the washer machine, right? And it went into our office and this and that. And I look at it and I think to myself, you guys don't understand that you can call someone else besides your insurance company. Why do people make that call and then just stick with that? Why do they do that?
Well, it's hard. I mean, my own family, and I always use this as examples with clients, my own family members, you know, they didn't even know what I did for a few years, and they didn't quite get it, so they had claims on their homes. And, you know, you pay your insurance company for 40 years and something happens, and you're fearful, you don't know what to do, you think, well, this is a contract, what if I don't do what they say? But, you know, that's kind of the whole concept, is it's your contract. You don't just pay premiums when you feel like it, you pay them every single month. Mm-hmm. So take power, take charge, and it doesn't cost you anything to ask questions. But so many people are fearful, and I see that every day, be it from the company that boarded it up or wherever they got the idea that they shouldn't call for help.
That number to call is 602-799-5088. They're statewide, residential and commercial. Check them out on their website. It's Kimpel, Kimpel Group.com. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. They work for you on a contingency basis. So that means that you're not paying for anything. They're going to make sure that you get the most that you deserve. And that's what it's all about. and you deserve that, right? I mean, I know for me, it was a joke. My adjuster that came in, that was from our, you know, we would have thought we were with them forever. And everybody in the family was, you know, because when you are with somebody, you always tell them about it, right? And we all got burned terribly. Some people didn't because they owned their homes, so it was different. But it was quite different for us. We were young and we didn't know, and we got burned. And today, I wish I'd say again, I wish I knew somebody like you that could call. And it doesn't have to be something huge, catastrophic. What's the smallest thing you've ever done?
And everybody says that too. I just wanted to point out that because nobody says, hey, talk to my attorney, he's the worst. Or you gotta go to my doctor, you're gonna wait for hours. No, but everybody wants to have pride in what they have, whether it's a major company or not.
Right.
So that's a big hurdle to for us to get over. But once you do, I've never met anybody or heard anybody say ever anywhere, I'm sorry I met that public adjuster.
Yeah, no, it's impossible because most likely you always get them more money, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what's the smallest thing you've ever done?
Well,
does it matter how big or small?
you know
it is?
what? I wouldn't put a limit on the low end of anything for someone to call us.
Mm-hmm.
I take calls, probably not on a daily basis, but weekly certainly, with people asking questions and asking for advice.
Mm-hmm.
I will often refer them to someone that can help them, but we generally don't get involved in a claim that's less than $100,000 structural.
How would they know? Well, I knew for sure.
Yes.
But how would they know?
Yeah, we'll come out and look at it.
Okay, so you'll do, what you do is you come out, you'll do an assessment for them.
Yes.
Is that how it works?
Yep.
Okay, and then of course if it isn't that at large, which $100,000 though could be pretty fast, huh?
Yes, it doesn't take much to add up to 100,000.
Right.
Yeah, a water heater flood, your water heater blows out, that can turn into $15,000 very, very easily.
Right.
So.
And especially when everything else that it just ruined the carpet, and then you have to look at the padding, the walls, everything that it ruins, and that's listen. I've been fortunate not to really deal with. I think I had one flood where I did have to have that happen, when it got everywhere. So we all know when something happens to you, no matter how big or small it is, it's the worst, right? And I'll tell you something I know for sure for me, having that, when I went through the earthquake, it was traumatic. And I don't care what anybody was going through. You're dealing with a fire, your roof blows off, right? I mean, it could be so many different things that happen. They work for you. They're going to come in and they're going to make sure that you get what you deserve. They're going to find out exactly. It's all about the case, right? We got to sit down and see what it is and sit down and talk to you. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. They do free consultations. Everything they do for you is on a contingency basis, and they work statewide, whether it's you or someone that you know. I know for me, when I feel, if anybody that I see has a situation, I'm the first one to say, you got to call a public adjuster. So give them a call. Their phone number is 602-799-5088.